Good evening, basketball fans. It is Professor Hatter. Class, we are talking about new season, new WNBA season. We're hyped. This is going to be a great video. I'm just going to do a straightforward cut video. I really don't need any special effects for this video.
No.
Straightforward.
I really don't think you need to do any special effects for this kind of video. Just would kind of be a distracting factor in it. Just do a great video, talk about the WNBA, make good predictions, and yeah. Good luck with the video.
I like your hat.
I like your hat too.
So we're going to do just a straight video, talk about WNBA. I did order a few more WNBA hats recently through Fanatics because they did a huge restock. I'll talk about that in a moment or two. We'll talk about WNBA season predictions. We'll talk about a few more things WNBA related. It's going to be a impactful video, and let's get into it. Class is in session. Let's go. So let's get into WNBA talk here. We're going to talk a lot about the hats, a bit of last year, this year, and predictions for the upcoming season. We'll get into kind of the recap. Last year, you had the Wubble, as the players have dubbed it. It was, of course, every sports league had to adjust to COVID-19 and trying to make sure everyone was safe, everyone was wearing masks, and making sure that distancing was being followed, guidelines were being followed, everything was clean, and they adjusted the best they could. They had their full season. I think there was only one time in their season that there was a game that was delayed and or canceled, postponed because of COVID-19. Granted, there's about 144 some players in the league. There's 12 teams total. So it's not like having to manage 30 some teams. That's like hundreds, maybe 1,000 players, for like hockey, for NBA, or for baseball. So a little bit different there, but they did okay. They got through the championship. They had their title game, and I mean the beginning of the season for them was pretty shitty because I feel like when you go to a hotel that you're a professional athlete, and especially when you have resource financial aid funding from the NBA, that when you're in a hotel, you really shouldn't see like rodents or cockroaches going in and out of the wall or in the shower or the bathrooms. That seems weird, doesn't it, Billy? When the vegan players were asking for food, they would get, chicken, or they would get something completely different. Even when the players who, wanted the chicken, as an example that they had showed on ESPN last year, Billy, is chicken supposed to be gray? No? Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, that's what they were being given, so I just thought that was kind of a standard for professional athletes. It's not. Look at that. So they had to deal with pretty crappy accommodations and hospitality, so it was another, not a bump in the road, it was just another thing for them to deal with. Same game, just different venue for the inequality of basic needs and basic provisions that really, an accommodation that really should be better than that, not subpar. The WNBA players were also activists for the inequality movement last year that was more prevalent than before, especially with the Atlanta Dream, with their previous owner, who is the former U.S. Senator Kelly Loeffler for the state of Georgia, who had said in an interview
Americans we love about our sports, but you know, the WNBA has embraced the Black Lives Matter political organization. This is a very divisive organization based on Marxist principles.
So that did not go over so well with the Atlanta Dream players, and started wearing shirts to support her opponent, Raphael Warnock, who would go on to win in a runoff race in January. That was pretty cool. So they also had on the back of their jerseys, Breonna Taylor, say her name, other short words or phrases that meant something for the equality movement that was, again, more prevalent than before for last summer. So they did a lot of activism, while, trying to earn a living. They realized that, we're still human beings, so we need to voice our opinions and our displeasurement and us being upset about what's happening. That we're still humans at the end of the day. We just have, a different job than others that has a different platform that we can use to make our voices be heard and make more of an impact. So just like the NBA players did and some other athletes had done last year. So moving on to this season, there's a lot of change over through the free agency and in the draft. New faces, especially Chicago Sky winning free agency with picking up Candace Parker as a free agent from the LA Sparks. She's coming home to Chicago. I think she's from like Naperville, which is like a suburb of Chicago, but it's still Chicago, we'll just say. And that was huge. Bunch of other changes that make, some other teams that were like, could have been playoff bound, could have made a deep run to the playoffs, made them a little bit more pertinent, made them a little bit more stand out. Like, hey, we got players now. We're running deep now. We might make a run at the finals. So it'll be fun this upcoming year. The draft was great. The Dallas Wings had the top 2 picks of the top 5. They had like 3 picks in the first 5 picks, I think. Maybe the first 6 picks. They had picks number 1 and 2. Huge for them. So they're not going to be there just yet, but they will next year or two, probably 2 years maybe. We'll see. Because they trade away Katie Lou Samuelson, they're probably going to have a longer time getting to the finals. Anyways, so a lot of changeover. Was really excited earlier in May when Lids and Fanatics restocked their WNBA hats online. It was exciting because it was so long that I had been trying to look for a good WNBA hat. I had to resort to Amazon for this hat, eBay for this old school New York Liberty logo, the Liberty team store that runs through the Brooklyn Nets, the team store for the Atlanta Dream, Dick's Sporting Goods. This one came from the Chicago Sky store themselves. Actually, this one also came from eBay as well. This is the only WNBA hat that I have that came straight from Lids. Because all the other hats that they had were snapbacks, but they were trucker hats. Yeah. So, yeah, not a fan of that. So I was excited that they restocked and they got new styles that have colored underbrims. So that's really cool. Team color underbrims, that's huge. So I was like, let's go. Had to use Fanatics, unfortunately, because I had fan cash to use up. I had like $12 in fan cash. And then I also found like a 30% off code through Honey. So ordered 3 hats, so that should be coming up next week as I'm recording this, and I will make a live stream opening the box or a full video. We will see how that goes on eventually, but I saw a few good styles, like the Dallas Wings had a navy, that's their primary color is navy, with the team colored underbrims, and it looks cool with the neon yellow green underbrim, but I have to work on the teams I don't have. I have half of the league already. There are 12 teams. I have 6 already. I have duplicates of the Liberty, and Sky. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams now. I have 2 more teams coming in with this next order, and then 4 more teams to work on. So I'll get there eventually. And you know how like the NBA has the City Edition jerseys and the hats? Yeah, they did that for the WNBA. They did the Rebel edition that they would call it. So they have different renditions of their own home jerseys and maybe away jerseys, but they have cooler designs than just the standard team color. It's a little bit more unique to the team itself. So I might make a video on that another time. For sure, those hats I saw on Dick's Sporting Goods. I'll need to get those at some point. You know, again, once I conquer the WNBA first, you know, then I'll go back for what's left over. At least that's the plan, but my plans don't always work out. So make sure you stay tuned and have your notifications set for whenever I get new WNBA hats, and you're the first ones to know. I know everyone would be excited for it. Everyone would be clamoring over it and seeing which hats that I get. So let's talk about the season opener tonight, because if you're watching this as it debuts on May 14th, 2021, it is opening season night. And there are 4 games tonight. So we have an order of the games, talking about Central Standard Time when I mentioned the times. At 6 o'clock tonight, the Indiana Fever at the New York Liberty. Sabrina Ionescu has her return. She's going to make a huge reappearance. She was the #1 draft pick of the 2020 WNBA draft. More of like Zion Williamson. The question wasn't, are they going to go #1? The question is, which team is going to be #1 to get them? And it was the New York Liberty to get Sabrina Ionescu. And she had a few games played last year, but ACL injury just did not help out, of course. So she will be back this season to tear it up and bring the Liberty to playoff potential finally. Then you have the Connecticut Sun, not Suns, Connecticut Sun at the Atlanta Dream at 6:30. Then you have the Phoenix Mercury at the Minnesota Lynx at 8 o'clock. And then you have the Dallas Wings at the LA Sparks tonight, rounding out at 9:30 Central Standard Time. At noon on Saturday, May 15th, it is the Sky visiting the Washington, D.C. Mystics. And then 2 o'clock, it is the rematch of the WNBA Finals. It is the Las Vegas Aces and defending MVP Asia Wilson visiting the banner-raising defending champions Seattle Storm, who is being led by Brianna Stewart. Could be a good game. Could it be another rematch for the WNBA final this year? Well, let's talk about that. Alright, so let's talk about the upcoming season. It's going to be a very fun one. It's going to go from May until September, and probably an all-star game in the middle. The final 4 teams is not really a East versus West kind of setup because there's only so few teams that actually get in. It's 8 teams that get in. The top 2 seeds get a bye. So it's kind of like the NFL playoffs kind of format, the old one. And there's really no like East and West. It's more like the rankings and the seeding and like who has a better record. But the final 4 teams will be the Minnesota Lynx, the Chicago Sky, the Las Vegas Aces, and the Seattle Storm. I don't have their hat yet, so post-production. Jeff put it in here. Thank you. And in the finals, it is going to be the Chicago Sky being led by WNBA MVP the 2021 season, Ellie Quiggle, to play against the Las Vegas Aces. So in the early rounds, each round is best of 3 games, but in the finals is a best of 5. And in the finals, it's going to be the Aces in 5 over the Sky. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's great to add Candace Parker, but it's like adding Dwayne Wade to the Bulls, where it's like, they're coming home. Great MVP caliber player, all-star player. They've won championships in the past. They're great, but they're old. They don't, offer that kind of stellar performance that they used to. Maybe. I hope I'm wrong, but at least from past experiences, from the past, it just might not play out, like it used to be. I don't know. So it's going to be the Sky and the Aces in the finals, and the Aces winning their first team title. The franchise has moved from San Antonio, where they were the Silver Stars, and they had won championships before, but as the Aces, this will be their first championship title. So that's going to be the season there. So make sure you tune into a WNBA game this year, at least one. That's your homework. Just watch at least one game. I don't watch them all, to be honest. But I'll do my best to watch more, because they're going to be doing a lot more coverage on ESPN of games and on CBS as well. And hopefully, if they get more actual SportsCenter coverage on ESPN and SportsCenter, that's really going to help propel the league to get momentum going for possible expansion in the future, in the next 2 years. Maybe they're talking about that. So it'll be a fun season. It's the 25th anniversary, of course, of the WNBA. I should have led off with that. This is huge for them. I'm sure some of you are thinking, they're still around? Yes, WNBA is still around, and they are doing fine. Could do better, but they're still around. So make sure you watch a WNBA game. Comment down below if you have a favorite WNBA team, or if you're going to root for a certain team, or if you even have a hat for a WNBA team. Let me know in the comments down below, of course. Anything else? And any negative comments, of course, will be disregarded, reported, scrubbed away, and you will get a F on your permanent record then. As always, hats off to you for watching. I will see you next time in class. Go Sky! And class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.